to do the same. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I agree. I gotta get out of here. Sorry. I can continue. There we go. As a musician and artist, I've discovered that it's so important for me to be giving my energy to things that are giving back to me. I'm not sure how you guys feel, especially post-pandemic. I'm really being careful about what I give my energy to, as like more and more options are becoming available, that things we can say yes to and things we can get involved in. So as opposed to giving you a big in-depth strategy on numbers and data and analyzing insights, I really just want to talk more about connecting with your followers and using social media as an extension of the creativity you're already using as a musician. So to tell you more about my musical project and what led me to social media in the first place, I'm Danielle Ate the Sandwich. I'm a pop folk singer-songwriter. I'm bold on stage, I'm fairly introverted in real life, and I'm pretty bossy. And I'm a little bit of a control freak, which I think actually makes me a great social media manager. So if you like to have control, you probably have a little social media manager buried deep within you too. Here are some of my social stats. This is kind of to try to impress you and just break down my numbers. On YouTube, I have 48,000 subscribers. On Facebook, I have 23,000 followers. On Instagram, I have 5K, Twitter, 4K, and on Patreon, which is a website maybe you've heard of, it's a spot where artists can ask their fans for monetary pledges that kind of support their work and career for long-term goals. I have 246 patrons, and that number is obviously much smaller than 48,000, but from those 246 people, I'm making about $900 a month, which is an essential part of why I'm able to make a living as an artist. So the highest number of social media followers that I have is not the one that's raking in the most substantial financial contribution. Though YouTube is my highest number, it is more getting me seen or raising awareness, whereas Patreon on the bottom end of that is actually giving me back money. So social media is tricky like this. You're kind of casting out a lot of different lines and nets, and each is bringing you more and different ways of connecting with fans or connecting with people who will buy tickets, which are fans, but actually getting butts in seats, etc. So online, as Danielle Ate the Sandwich, my social presence is very detailed. It's consistent. I try to post at least once a week, sometimes more, especially when I have stuff going on, and I have recently. It's authentic, so I'm kind of telling the truth. I'm pointing out the obvious. I'm not trying to be too slick or fancy. It's very fun. Me being honest about it makes it very fun. And something that I feel is very important, my social media interaction as Danielle Ate the Sandwich is very interactive. I'm asking my fans what they think. I'm asking them to comment. I'm hoping that they'll give me something back to help me out. So some examples of social media campaigns that I've run that have been really successful, something called my 24-hour album, where I write and create and record an album, as many songs as I can within a 24-hour period, but I invite my fans to live stream in on the writing process and actually help me write the songs. So I do that for my patrons as a way to build my patronage and give them something exclusive that they can be in on. I also did a little publicity stunt a while ago called Spread a Dirty Rumor about Danielle Ate the Sandwich Day, under the premise that all publicity is good publicity. And I asked my fans to create like ridiculous rumors and spread them around the internet. And then the best rumor won a free CD that I was releasing. So that's just a way to get people involved creatively. And then they're also saying my name and advertising my album. And then I just recently on my fans of Danielle Ate the Sandwich page, which is a community org within Facebook, I asked them to type, using only emojis, the first song of mine that they heard, which was really simple and fun, and people got creative typing out in emojis, and then I would try to guess the song title. So those are just some examples of ways to do creative things to engage your followers. And then as it comes to 2018, I start my a social media company called Whipstar Wonder because I really just loved and got excited about making these promotional campaigns, and I wanted to help other people do that. So I consider my work as Whipstar Wonder a positive and empowered social media management. I started it again in 2018, and I've worked with indie musicians, venues. I worked with the dueling piano company for a while, a pickle company, and then an insurance adjuster and a real estate broker. And I also do social media for Heartland Song Network. So I help small businesses establish a social presence by creating and organizing content in order to share more information with their fans and followers. And you might be saying, yeah, that, of course, we've heard that before, but what does that mean? And just to break it down even more simply, I'm really not performing brain surgery. I get information, I organize it, I make small changes to make sure that it's going to go well on the site I'm posting it to. I schedule it and I post it. So it can be really simple. On the more advanced side of my job, I am creating content, whether that's graphic design or taking promo images, editing video, or even web design. But so much of what I do as a social media marketer is just taking information and organizing it. Do you guys consider yourself organized? Do you like organization? Yeah, yes and no. Yes, Diana, my queen. I'm with you. So, we'll talk about ways that you can combat organization and if you're not feeling particularly organized. So I am going to toss this to you guys. What social media sites do you like to spend time on personally? Like use just for your daily use as you, not promoting anything, just enjoying or getting something out of social media. And then consider, is it the same or is it different? What social media site has the most engaged followers of your music or product? You can actually type this in the chat. So for example, I love to use Twitter, but my fans are most engaged on Facebook. And yeah, Rich says Facebook and Instagram. So I have that big number on YouTube, but my followers on YouTube aren't coming there daily to interact with me and see what I'm up to. They kind of want a video here and there, whereas my fans on Facebook are kind of wondering what I'm up to and maybe might come to a show or support a CD. So I see Elise says Facebook personally, and Facebook has been most responsive for my followers. That's kind of great since you're already there and going there frequently. That's nice. Diana says I use Facebook for personal engagement and Twitter for my political fix. Yeah, it's funny how each is a little different and has its niche. So Danny's got Facebook. Yeah, that's great. And there's so many sites and they're always changing and it's kind of scary. But I really hone into Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I think those are kind of the big guys. So again, you can type in the comments, what do you like about using social media to promote your business? And what do you just kind of hate? Listen, social media isn't here. We can talk bad about them. You can just state your frustrations or something that you feel gross about. Obviously, Facebook has a lot of things that aren't great going on with it. And I feel really disappointed if I'm excited about a project and I post it and it doesn't get engagement and then it feels really disappointed. I post all the time about things and sometimes I still hear people say like, oh, I didn't see that anywhere on your website. Or even, just what we're talking about today, like people said they'd come and they didn't. So sometimes even though we're working so hard on social media, it still doesn't lead to real tangible results. Do any of you guys have anything to share? Super hateful? Just get really ugly. And if not, I'll move on. That's great if you don't. Okay. Oh, I see some things. Sorry. It's convenient, but it takes so much time. Yes, Elise. And I feel like I need to engage differently on Instagram. I have no followers on Twitter and I'm not sure how to get them, right? So it's inconsistent from social network to social network. And something that works on one might not work on the other. That makes me feel super frustrated. And it obviously makes Elise feel frustrated too. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys to, I meant to tell you this ahead of time. Grab a piece of paper or a notebook or open up a memo on your phone. And I'm just going to ping you a couple times to write down some answers or ideas so that you can kind of have some notes to take back. Rich says, I like it's worldwide. I dislike not getting it out there worldwide. Right. It's kind of frustrating to feel like you could reach so many people, but you're barely reaching the ones right in front of you. So to rank the top 3 social media sites you use to promote your music, think about the one you like to use, think about the one you have the most followers on, maybe one where you feel like people are most engaged with you, where you actually get some responses or some likes. So mine, for example, would be Facebook, then Instagram, then Twitter, which is funny because Twitter's my favorite. And I kind of get like so results there too. Elise, you might relate to me there. And then with these different sites that we use. Oh, let me check the chat one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything. SoundCloud, yeah, SoundCloud's a good one, especially for music, right? We can upload our tracks there. That's hard to get the word out there too, because it's not as social of a site where people are interacting daily. But it is a great place for us to put our music and share our music. So know your social media site. Why is each one different? And we can use each one to post about our events and music, but the way they're used is a little different. So Facebook is good for pictures, long text, links, and videos. There's shareability. Anybody can click share on one of those links. You can do live streaming. You can host and invite people to events. You can also link and tag easily to other venues and artists. So you should also consider a social network that has other people that you're networking with and involved with, so that you can tag them and kind of have that cycle of advertisement and social looping. Instagram is great for visuals. So to be successful on Instagram, I think you really need stunning and lots of photos. So if you don't have a good camera or you don't like taking pictures of yourself, Instagram might not be the one for you. It's great for sharing these photos. You can live stream from it just like Facebook. You can also fundraise, which I just found out this weekend. And then hashtags and stories are really easy to share and to use to get people to find you on Instagram. On Twitter, they use short text. Politics goes well on Twitter. I follow a lot of comedians. So if you are quippy and like to write funny stuff or fight with other people about politics, Twitter's the one for you. You can also, though, use links and photos and short videos. So I kind of consider Facebook and Twitter a lot the same when I'm writing content, because Facebook can use a picture and a link, and someone can click directly on it. So I can take my Facebook post and shorten it to 140 characters, but still use the same link and information when I post to Twitter. So that's just like the fine tuning of not doing as much work as I think I might need to, because those two have that thing in common. Whereas Instagram, you can't post links that someone can click. You have to say, find my link in my bio. So YouTube is good for videos. If you're a musician who's lucky enough to have videos or record them on your phone. It's also good for promoting long-term projects if you're releasing something or advertising a class, or like Heartland Song Network puts a lot of videos of our interviews with Artists of the Month and industry spotlights, as well as music videos that some of our artists have made during the collaboration projects we've had. So Heartland Song Network has a YouTube channel that they use to share all the cool stuff they're working on. Within YouTube, some of the social media elements and features, you can use tags and keywords for shareability. So somebody might stumble upon your video because they were also looking up Tom Waits covers and found yours in a miracle, and then really started loving your original stuff. There's also an opportunity that becomes unlocked the more followers you have, where you can use end cards and sort of like subscribe buttons and link to your website. YouTube at any level has the longer text descriptions where you can link to your other sites and projects. So I like Instagram for that. Let me check the chat. Diana says, I seem to get as much, if not more, engagement from Instagram on my radio show days as I post pictures from the stations. I'm not sure if I understand. I seem to get as much, if not more, engagement from Instagram on my radio show days as I post pictures from the station. Oh, yeah. So Diana works at KKFI as a DJ, and when she posts pictures from the studio on Instagram, she gets lots of engagement, which is great, right? So it's fun to see pictures of people, but it's also a great way for you to get the word out. You are in the studio playing great live local music, and people can tune in. So as I'm talking about knowing your social media site, here are 3 examples of me promoting the same thing. It's this new video of a song that I wrote for a documentary film, but I'm doing it slightly different on each network. Can you guys see the right side of the screen, or is it blocked by everybody's video? Can you see it? Okay, great. So on the left is my Facebook post. I just say, here's my new music video, title of the song from my new EP, and then link to the video, which creates YouTube preview thumbnail, which I'm doing this at a microphone. And that is nothing I needed to provide other than the link. So that's what I mean when Facebook picks up that thumbnail preview. So they've kind of covered the visual content for me. And it also, when posted, someone in Facebook can just click play and it will play within Facebook. So it's not a lot of like jumping around the internet and having to load lots of pages, which is nice for users, because if they have slow internet or if they get distracted easily, asking them to move around the internet, there's a chance you might lose them. Then on the top right is my tweet. So I changed it up a little and I quoted lyrics that I have from the song. When I'm reaching for my phone, I'm still dialing your number, dear. And then I wrote a personal sentiment. My grandma's number is still saved in my favorites. And then I wrote the title of the song from the movie that it's featured in, It's Not a Burden. So I'm tagging a relevant party to give some props for the project. And honestly, I do it in hopes that they'll retweet it and it will get shared around. Or if anybody sees it, they go, oh, this is from a project called It's Not a Burden. I want to learn more about that. So we're all kind of casting lines for each other. Then on the bottom right is my Instagram post. Now, I didn't have access to the video at the time I posted this, so I couldn't post actual video. What I had to do was pause the video at a good time and then take a screen grab from the shot. So I made my own little photo from the video. And I did the same thing. Advertised the music video, gave props to the people who edited and created the video for me, and the people who recorded the song, tagging as many parties that I could in the post. So it's kind of sucking up because you want people to see it and like it and share it, but it's also giving props where props are due. That's why I advise tagging people in your posts. So within knowing your social network, I also want you to know your audience. So try to think of yourself as a consumer of the internet now. Now you're not promoting. Now you just found a song you like and you're trying to find out more about it. I believe that we have so much stuff going on in our lives, and there's so much stuff shown to us when we're online, that we have a limited number of clicks before we get distracted by something else. So my goal as a social media manager is to tell them what they need to know in one post. And by that, I mean dates, details, links, and info. So if you said, I heard this new song, I love it, and you looked at the YouTube description and it just said new song, and there wasn't anything about the artist or where to find the song or where to download it, it's kind of frustrating. So then you maybe go to the YouTube channel page and see if there's any information there. And if there's not, you have to start really, really loving the song to keep fighting through everything that's on the internet to find the answer of what is this song called and where do I find it, right? So now think again as a promoter or someone who is putting a project online to share. How does your audience respond? What do they respond to? And how do they interact with you? Some people have quiet followers. Some people's are talkative and like to comment and like and subscribe and share. I noticed that for all of my products, all of my companies, clients, and products that I've marketed, faces are the most engaging. So there's something that we recognize when we see a face, especially if it's a face we know. So I think sometimes people post show posters and they get a little lost, but often just a picture of a face is a great way to stop somebody and say, oh, hey, I know them. Look, they're playing a show. So try to include that more when you're making posts. You can also include, of course, pictures of you holding, playing instruments, or performing, because as musicians, we're advertising what we do, which is that. And then something that is just sort of in my 10 commandments of social media, is posting at least 3 times about any event, song, video, etc. I talk to a lot of people who say, well, I advertised it once and nobody came or nobody heard about it. But again, thinking of all we're shown on a daily basis, the chances of all your followers seeing that one post you did when you posted it at the time that they were on, that you were on, can be really slim at the end of the day. So just make sure you're posting enough times to really get the word out. This is something I want to ask you. I'm not sure how you guys are doing this. The personal page, the personal Facebook page versus the band page. I know a lot of musicians who have their personal page. So mine would be Daniel Anderson, and they're posting all of their musical content there and inviting people to shows through that and linking to that and posting new videos and ways to download the album from their personal page. As opposed to their band page, and then their band page suffers and has way fewer followers. Have you guys noticed that, or are you guilty of that yourselves? No? Okay. Yes, I've noticed that a lot, and I'm actually working with someone new who we're trying to kind of convert that. So it's all good promo, but I encourage you to work on building up your business page. And here are some of the big reasons. Tagging is easier or even possible from business page to business page. So when I'm acting on behalf of Heartland Song Network online, I can't tag personal pages because I'm a business and you're a person. And so I can tag music pages, but I can't tag personal pages as easily, because I think it's actually a nice privacy feature where you don't want Pepsi just tagging you in posts willy-nilly. And if you have your privacy settings set, to be a certain way that you don't want to be out on the internet. Whereas your band page, I can tag because it's from business to business. So I'm able to properly advertise you and tell our followers about your work if I'm able to tag you and refer people to your page. Business pages also have access to scheduling insights and a wider reach for events. And it kind of serves as a website. It's a public page that all people can see whether or not they're friends with you, or even if they have a Facebook account at all. So on Facebook, personal pages, you have a 5,000 limit of friends. So once you get 5,000 friends, you can't have more. And I know a lot of people who struggle with that and have 5,000 friends, and then they run out of friends and fans. And so I'm thinking, if you have 5,000 fans, that's great, but I can have 23,000 fans or more on my business page than I could have on my personal page. And if you decide to do this, you will need to retrain your audience to go to the band page for music content and to find out good stuff about you. Let me check the chat. Elise says, I like to keep them separate, but I make posts about my gigs on my music page and share them on my personal page. I don't want my followers on my personal page. Yeah, I feel ya. What I would do, let me see if I read this right. I would post everything on your band page and then share to your personal page. Yes, I post about my gigs on my music page and share them to my personal page. I know people who post on their personal page and then share to their music page, but I would do it the way you're doing it, Elise. To say, here's this public entity, and now I'm sharing it with my more exclusive group. So kudos, good for you. Okay, so let's talk about getting organized. I'm talking a lot, and I do want to let you know that I'm going to break and ask you guys to talk and share ideas, and also give you some time to work on cultivating ideas of your own in just a couple slides. So if it feels like I'm yakking a lot, I will give you a break in just a second. So as far as getting organized, some of you raise your hand, you're organized, some of you are not. This is what I recommend. Prepare a list of your upcoming events with dates, times, ticket info, and links saved on a Google Doc or even in an email draft so that's easy for you to copy and paste that. This is an example of what I mean. So these are just a few things I have coming up in the next few months. I just have the date, where it's located, what time it starts, and then a link to find out more. So I could put this on just a random photo, or I'm like, here's my upcoming stuff. I could put this in my email newsletter. I could do this as a tweet. Probably too many characters, but you know what I mean. It's right there. And then if I'm posting just about one of them, it's already written out and really easy to access. So I say if you're not good at getting organized, try to get organized as few times as possible. So like get it done and then it's there and then you don't have to worry about doing it all the time. So plan out, while you're at it, plan out a week or month's worth of posts. And again, type it out so it's easy to copy paste. And what I mean is plan out a month's worth of posts. Be like, well, my show's coming up in 2 weeks, so I should post once on Tuesday and once on Thursday. And I'll talk about who I'm playing the show with on Tuesday, and I'll post a picture of me on a stage at some other show to show people that I'll be playing live music, and then I'll advertise the tickets, etc. I use schedulers to save time, and then so that I'm doing kind of my planning once a week if possible, and then those posts are going out throughout the week. So Facebook Creator Studio is again one we can use with our band pages on Facebook. Hootsuite is one that I use. There's a free option that's a little limited. I use the pro version since I manage a lot of accounts. But those are just two examples of schedulers. I really thrive with scheduling. And then again, I'm just kind of doing 30 minutes a week or more, since it's my job, more to schedule posts and make sure they're going out with the relevant info. This is a new thing. Create a link stack for providing adequate links in one spot. This is especially good for Twitter or Instagram, where we're just allowed one link in our bio. I'm not sure if you guys have seen these. They kind of look like this. This one's available on Linktree, which is free. We also have one for Heartland Song Network on Linktree. And so this is just sort of my most recent news that's relevant. I would almost say it's too much information, like it's too much stuff. I kind of need to narrow it down. So I need to go through and organize this a little bit better. But when I say on Instagram, link in bio, I don't have to change my bio link like 3 times a week if I have more than one thing coming up. So these link stacks are new and becoming really popular. We use Linktree. There's also one called direct.me, but you can just Google search link stack and find one that's free and then start adding your links. I also encourage you to prepare a folder of photos to use to share with content so they're organized and right at your fingertips. And then I'm going to ask you, what do you have to share now? Like, do you have an event, a new release? Are you working on recording in the studio? And what's coming up for you that you'll need to share? And let's take some time right now. And you guys can unmute. There's not that many of you, so I think you can unmute if you want to ask a question or talk about something. But let's look through our, seriously, like take out your cell phone, or if you're on your computer, look through photos that you could share. And by that, I mean, maybe they're old, maybe they're throwback photos, or maybe they're new ones that you got, but you just haven't posted that often. I encourage you to start a Google folder. You can also unmute and ask me a question or suggest something that's worked for you organizationally. And then I challenge you to actually start writing. Oops, I'm editing my PowerPoint as I talk. Start writing the text for an upcoming post. So this is actually work time. I find that I go to all these classes and take all these lessons to like give myself ideas to be creative or to have more time. And then I just need somebody to give me the time. So I'm giving you the time right now. Let me know if you have any questions or Looks like nobody's unmuted. Rich, did you have a question, or Diana?
I don't have a question so much as I'm having a realization.
What is it?
I right now I'm the admin, I think, on six, maybe eight different Facebook pages. I have one for my radio show, for my podcast, Heartland Song Network, Mike Kelly's Bloody Mary Morning, my personal pages, and I'm kind of overwhelmed right now and thought I was organized, but I'm really not. And so, what I'm really hoping to take away from this tonight is, the really hardcore tools that I will be able to use to organize each one of these efforts for each one of these pages so that I don't feel so overwhelmed, or I just kind of do it willy nilly, as it speaks to me. And I have had within a few hundred the same amount of followers on my radio page that I've had for 10 years now. You know what I'm saying? I'm stalled out at a particular number. Well, there's a reason for that, I'm sure, and that's because of the way I'm engaging or not engaging through social media. So I really need to think about what my goals are for engagement for each one of these pages and determine how much time I'm going to be willing to spend to do these things that you are suggesting,
Yeah,
because
that's a great point. If you're managing more than one thing, how do you find the time to make sure you're dedicating enough time? I kind of feel that with having multiple clients. So I do try to set up like a weekly schedule. It could be something as simple as Monday afternoons, I spend 30 minutes not even doing anything, just looking at the week ahead. And if you have, I'm sure like Bloody Mary Mornings is one show a month. So you'll be building promo for that, and it'll get faster and more rigorous as the event gets nearer. Whereas Heartland Song Network is something that is posting multiple times a week, and maybe posting when something surprises you and you want to do a post more spontaneously than planned out. So, what I recommend is just kind of setting up, I said 30 minutes a week. And I think that can be time to just look at the calendar. There's so much like in our personal lives and our professional lives. So just spend some time looking through the events that you have planned that week, whether or not they're on your personal calendar. I also kind of recommend putting things on your work calendar that are coming up that maybe you're not even attending, but ones that you would be advertising or talking about. And then with as far as tools, and especially since you mentioned managing Facebook pages, I would go back to that creator studio, which I can even just kind of share my screen and show you what I'm talking about that. But it's just a thing for business pages where you can schedule posts, you can see your insights and kind of see them go out and see the ones in the queue that are scheduled, and make sure all of your kind of ducks are in a row, and it has all your pages that you manage in the same place, as opposed to having to go to each one individually and making sure everybody's got what they need. So it just, for me, that's a lot easier to visualize, you know what I mean, like when I see them all as a group in a chunk, as opposed to being like catching fireflies trying to get everybody in the same room so that I can
yeah,
do all
it's
the
just
work.
catch as catch can right now. And even though I'm so-called retired,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not spending, I don't think, I mean, if to me, if I'm going to do this and have these pages and have all this content and all these activities, I need to get more organized, because if I do, I'll actually be spending less time, I think.
I do. I agree.
You know?
The more organized you are, the less time you spend, which is a real son of a juxtaposition. So let's jump back in. And yeah, we talked about getting organized. And I also want to just talk about like using what you've got. So let me go back to screen share. For using what you've got, I know, Diana, you gave a great presentation about one sheets and EPKs we talk about a lot in the music business. And a lot of what we use for professional promo that we've already spent some time preparing, whether it's a resume or press photos, These things can be used for our social media presence. So you have more content than you think, but you just need to present it in a different way. Because someone professional, like a radio DJ, would want all the info right up top in one place. And on social media, our audience is looking for a little less. And just kind of one thing at a time. So you guys might already have these things, and this is something you could kind of put in your Google folder if you're working on starting to get organized. Do you have a logo? Do you have a theme or a catchphrase? I don't have a catchphrase, but my theme would be sandwiches or like things that look, pictures of sandwiches or sandwich drawings or sandwich merch. I know Joy Zimmerman has an awesome catchphrase, cultivate joy and amplify hope. So those are things that she can always kind of center her posts around. Do I have all my social media links written out to easily copy and paste? I think that's always a great thing to have too, just so you don't misspell. If you have a go-to, like, here's my blurb of social media stuff written out, then there's less chance for error. And you'll spend less time writing it out. You can just go to that doc, copy paste it, and send it off. And then do you have a folder of your best press photos? It might be your actual EPK, or you might need to get one together. And press photos are great, as well as casual, just sort of selfies on a day-to-day basis. Both do really well. And when I talk about authenticity, sometimes the casual photos of just your real life go a little better than all the fancy ones, even though looking fancy all the time is really nice. And then what are my favorite videos, or like, what are you most proud of? Do you have a song that you love? And it might just be a demo recording on your phone, or it might be a shiny, fancy, professionally produced video that you can share often when you're at a loss for what to talk about. So this is something I recommend with organization as well. The state of your socials. A lot of times when I take on a new client, the first thing I do is just look through the nitty-gritty of what they have on their pages currently. Is it up to date? Are your bios talking about the right things? Are your photos relevant and recent? Is your about section filled out? Do you have events that are upcoming linked to your site? Do your sites link to all your other sites? By that, what I mean is on Facebook, you can link to your Instagram, YouTube, and website. And on your website, you can link to your social sites. So again, that net, or the casting all those lines, you kind of want to trap people in your orb. And then what's your last blog post or post in general? Sometimes I go to pages and nobody's posted for 2 years, and I just assumed they're not an artist anymore, or they gave up, or that this isn't the most recent website. So just make sure that it looks like you're still alive. That's a general goal. Are you using hashtags? You can even go back through. Diana, you talked about getting new followers for your current pages. Sometimes adding fresh hashtags to old photos make those old photos more relevant again. Again, that hashtags go really well on Instagram. Is the info in your Instagram bio relevant? I'm always changing that to sort of advertise the thing I've got going on. And then, is your YouTube page set up with featured videos and an About Me section? These are just little things to make it look more professional. And again, if you happened to get somebody who's interested in finding out more about your music, so just preparing everything so you have it set up nice and presented so that they can find what they want to about you. So I challenge you to look around your social spaces as if you were a new follower. I think sometimes we also are, we forget that we know more about ourselves than maybe the average person. So take a look around and make sure you're telling the story you want. And then as a challenge, you could even ask a friend or a colleague to look through your website or your social pages and tell them the 3 main points they got from your pages. So, if they say like, oh, you released an album in 1999 and this photo of you doing a keg stand at a party in college, you might go, okay, yeah, I need to update my stuff because they got the wrong things that I was aiming to focus my reach on, right? So for example, this is my YouTube channel. and it kind of looks like a website to me. I've got my featured video. I've filled out all my sections, and by sections I mean home, video, playlist, community, channels, and about. And then on that top right corner in that cover photo, I have links to buy my music on iTunes, to find my website, to follow me on Facebook, and join me on Patreon. So this is something that you can do to just set up your sites to look a little better. Here's my Bandcamp page. Are any of you on Bandcamp or have used it? Yeah. So I just changed the background photo to reflect that of my new EP album cover. And again, it's just a small change, but I wanted to do that to draw focus to my new release. So that's not a big deal. But it's just an eye catcher, and it changes and gives a fresh look that might make someone look again who's already seen some of your older content. So blah blah blah, you've heard all this stuff before, I'm sure. How does this actually turn into fans? And what I think is just really important to remember, your fans need to know what you're doing in order to support it. So that's why you've got to tell them. And your fans need to know you need their support. I think sometimes we don't like asking for help, or we feel gross when we say, could you buy my new CD, or could you become my patron, or could you donate to my Kickstarter? But I think our fans are happy to support us. So we have to ask for their help, and we have to ask them to follow our pages, and we have to ask them to like our posts. They don't realize sometimes how much it helps just to get a like on our post. And I think sometimes even making a post that says, hey, follow me on my professional band page, I'm trying to build that over there, etc., can go a long way. So, and it's also important to thank your fans. It's great for them to know that you're grateful for the support, and it helps them feel involved in the process. Some more 10 commandment items. Authenticity and consistency help you create your brand. And then details and organizations can help sell tickets and get butts in the seats. If you say, I've got a show tonight, and you don't tell me how to get there or how to buy tickets or what time it is, there's a way less likely chance that you're going to have somebody show up. If you give everybody all the info they need, then they're more likely to appear in real life, to hear your music, to support you, to buy merch, and then to support the other band that you're playing the show with. Well-worded posts can sell downloads, merchandise, and get shares. And requests to help spread the word can get new fans. So again, just asking for what you want your fans to do. So let's take a look at your own personal social media outlook. What do you have to talk about or advertise? A show, a new release, or something you're working on, a new instrument you got at a flea market that you're excited about? What site are your followers most engaged on? Think of that rank list, and maybe like the top one, make sure you're giving a lot of time to that one. Always focusing on all of them, but spending time on the one that's giving back to you. And then what are the details you need to organize to tell them about these upcoming events and things you have going on? And what do you need to do to create something to improve your posts? Do you think you need new photos? Do you need to update your sites? You could kind of make just a little to-do list. And then how much time do I want to dedicate to social media? So like Diana said, she has so much to do, and she actually thinks she would save time if she got a little more organized. So I think 30 minutes a week is a great place to start. Once you get started, you might find yourself wrapped up a little more. And once you start to do it and kind of develop a system, I think it becomes a little faster. So let's just talk about creating content. I think creating content is the fun part. And I think a lot of people don't know what to post sometimes, or they are not sure if this works, if this is relevant, etc. And they feel overwhelmed because they don't have new press photos or they don't have a new music video. So something I want to ask you, just to center yourself, what is my job? And my answer to that is I'm a singer-songwriter when I'm being Danielle ate the sandwich. What parts of my job can I share online? A lot of my day is spent sending emails. Is that cool and creative? No, but I could sure post about it. Practicing, absolutely. Practicing is a really great thing to share. Just snap a photo of you while you're preparing your practice space or getting your guitar tuned, going to the post office to mail merch, of course, that's a little merchandise promo, reading a book that inspires you. Diana, I just saw you posted a little photo of a Woody Guthrie book as you're preparing for Woody Fest, which is great, right? Like, as creative people, it's interesting to share what's inspiring us and what we're thinking about, and that can create a great conversation between people. How about going to coffee to meet with a mentor? Absolutely. Again, who's inspiring you and who are your colleagues and peers? And then for me, it would be more likely like hiding in a bunker of solitude. That's kind of a joke. I'm not sure if we're to a joke place yet, but that could be a post too. Like, I'm feeling blue today. I'm just going to stay under the covers and watch music documentaries. So anything you're kind of doing throughout your day could be a social post. And as I'm talking about preparing and organizing all this info, it's important to give people the details, but also create these fun and engaging posts. So, it's not all business all the time, but it's fun with business. So here are some ideas. I'm not saying you have to hire a professional photographer. If you've got one in your pocket, obviously, please hire them immediately. But you can do self-timer photo shoots just on your cell phone camera. Set up the give me 10 seconds, prop it against a book, and then take a step back and hold your instrument and look cute and get some new photos that way. You can also do really short song covers or originals, again, that you're practicing. Just do a video of that. Take screen grabs from existing videos that'll look like new, fresh photos. Take a selfie everywhere you go, in front of the venue, at band practice, packing up your stuff, eating pretzels in the green room, or even from the stage. And then save photos posted of you from shows to your computer or Google Drive for easy access. If you're lucky enough to have fans who take photos of you and then post them online, I know Diana, again, does a great job taking photos of all the music she sees, and she posts those. So all those musicians should get wise and start saving those that they can repost and share on their site. So Diana's doing the work for everybody. And then while you're at your show, ask your audience to take a picture of you and post it and tag you in it. They're helping you get photos of yourself, and then they're also kind of sharing your name and tagging you, which is again, keeping people in the loop. So also, we're songwriters, right? We're musicians. We have songs. So share the video that you made, even if it was 2 years ago. Share the MP3, the demo, the Bandcamp, the Spotify, the iTunes link, or even write your own lyrics out. You're a poet, quote yourself. Do you guys feel comfortable sharing stuff like that? Does anybody struggle with just like talking about themselves and making it about them? Does self-promotion feel a little icky to anybody? Yeah. No, some people no, some people yes. Yeah. Okay, so regardless, let's take some time right now. Our last time break, I don't know that anybody took the opportunity, but what I want to do first is have everybody pose for a group screen grab so that I can share that on my social media and on Heartland Song Network social media. And then I'm going to challenge you to get out your phone, literally take the time right now and grab your instrument if it's nearby and do a selfie with it and then post it tonight. You should also take a photo of me or us and post that and say I went to a great and informative workshop with Miss Danielle ate the sandwich, thanks to Heartland Song Network. And then even if I'm giving you a break, I'm yakking, you can grab your instrument and record a really fast 30-second cover. So I'm going to first, before you run off, I'm going to get my grid. Oh, hi, Jody. I'm going to get my grid view. And if you guys, want to pose for a photo, I'm going to take a screen grab of us that I can share online. So everybody smile, get ready to smile, looking cute, looking cool. Okay, ready, set, go. Okay, cool. Now, if anybody out there wants to take a photo, I think like this would be cool. Like a selfie, like in this awesome workshop for Heartland Song Network. Yeah, I'll pose. So you just have my big face. Yeah, take some photos. I see your photos out. That's awesome. Another thing you can do, you can't do it right now since we're on a Zoom, but Zoom serves as its own camera too. So if you have a webcam and a Zoom, you can record your session and just play a song into your webcam and kind of have that be a recorded video for you. So I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to give us 2 minutes. I see your cameras are out. So I really challenge you to make use of this time. Let's keep quiet. If you have a conversation or questions, you can chat, use it in the chat. But otherwise, I'm gonna ask you what you guys did and what you worked on. I'm gonna give us 2 minutes, and I'm gonna be quiet. I swear. Starting now.
Oh, it's Danielle's locked on mute, Danny.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Thank you, Rich. Thanks. You unmuting let me know that he had unmuted me. Um, Gave me the power. Okay, so thank you for doing that. That's kind of weird, right? We're all on Zoom. I saw you guys got your instruments. You took some selfies. Elise, I saw you do an awesome selfie. I tried to pose, so I hope I got in there. So this is weird, right? But that was just 2 minutes to just kind of get in the spirit of doing it. I think it kind of takes a while, similar to like writing a song and sitting down and really sinking into your creativity. It takes a little while just to get into a free and creative place to be like, what do I want to post about? Do I want to take a poster of myself? Do I want to write a song, etc.? So sometimes it's not that easy. And again, that's why I encourage you to catch yourself living your daily life and just basically taking a picture every now and then. So Diana asked a great question if I would share what I do for Heartland Song Network's social media scheduling. I call it a live calendar, and I do it. I do it the week before the week of posts. So I'm always 1 week ahead of the week that's happening, which is weird for how I let time pass. So I should be sharing my Google Chrome, which is that what you guys see? Heartland Song Network social media post. Do you guys see that? So I just type it out, the date, the social network here at the top, and then my content that I'm going to post. And sometimes that includes the actual, like this is an actual photo I'm going to post. So I have that ready and prepared. I know what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to promote that we had a great weekend show at our Bloody Mary morning series, and that we have a future one coming up August 7th with Lyle Strickland. So again, I just do this for the week of, and that gives me a little bit, seeing it in a grid is good for the way I think. So it looks like the days are filled in. There's a couple days of breaks just to give people a break from what we're talking about. And then so I know that then when I've scheduled it, I write it in that it's scheduled. So I know it's set to go out and I can kind of relax. So that's just something I do, again, to keep track of my organization and my notes. For myself, I write these on Wednesday. I send them to my client on Thursday morning, and then I schedule them on Sunday. Which is, I don't know why I schedule them for Sunday because the weekends are for breaks, but I schedule them for Sunday so that they can start on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. But that's that little schedule that I've set up with myself to kind of help keep me on the path of staying focused. So I just have a few more slides to show you. And I was going to ask, if anyone, okay, let me share really quick. Getting back here. So creating content, you guys already tried your hand at some. I encourage you to keep doing that. Sometimes needing content isn't the thing you need. Sometimes you just need to do the posts. But again, if you're needing to advertise an event, say 3 times before the event happens, you'll want to do it in a creative and unique way each time you post so that your fans don't get tired of seeing the same post. So I would love if someone would volunteer. I'm not sure if someone feels comfortable. I would love if someone would volunteer to have me do a consultation in front of the group, which basically means I Google search your band name and kind of look through quickly your things and tell you what I see, what I think the point of your work is. And I could, if you feel comfortable, I could give you some constructive criticism or feedback, or we could just kind of keep it nice and narrow. Does anyone feel comfortable? Elise, you want to do it? So do you want to unmute if you're able to? And tell me what I should search. I'm going to gather that I should search your name that you have on Zoom. Is that correct? Okay, what?
Elise Rocks.
Say it again, you cut out.
Elise Rocks.
Elise Rocks Music.
Me.
Oh, could you type it? I'm sorry, you keep cutting out on my end. I'm not sure if that's happening to anyone else. Elise Rocks. Oh, cool. I love it. Elise Rocks Me. You were saying it fine. I just kept getting you cut out. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to Google search you. Thank you for volunteering. Let's see what we got. Okay, Elise Rocks Me. Okay, awesome. First thing we see is your Facebook page. So I'm going to go to that first, right? Let's hope no one. Yep, my friends. I'm going to get weird Facebook messages while I'm here. Okay, so here is Elise's Facebook page. I love it. We've got kind of, I would call this a logo or an image, blues, etc. I'd call that a slogan or a catchphrase, which is cool. Elise Rocks Me already got me interested. It's kind of fun and it makes me think that you play rock music. So you've got some posts yesterday. I'm not going to read through them all, but I love that you post as recent as yesterday. That's great. Sometimes people haven't posted in a couple months. Looks like you're posting about some of your friends. I love that. You have some videos. That makes me want to go to your video tab and see what you've got here. So it looks like you've got a video with the guitar, which I love to see. Just looking over this short description, I'm probably not even seeing the full thing. I see you're using hashtags and I see good day and welcome to day 3. So I'm imagining you have some kind of series called Good Day, which is great. So if I like Good Day 1, I can check out 2 and 3 and the following. So that's really awesome. I love this. Looks like you have some stuff from farther away. So these are cool. And you've even got them divided into, looks like categories and segments, which is awesome. So originals and covers. And then, join my email list. That's a great feature. So this is cool, Elise. Way to go. Oh yeah, Elise TV. I've seen it and heard your name now. Yeah. Yeah. So we could sign up for her email list, which is amazing. And then no upcoming events. Maybe that's because you don't have any. Yeah, and that's fine. A lot of us don't right now. And then right here, this is what I love to see. Elise Del Vecchio, I know I should forget that, right? Is a guitarist, vocalist, and songwriter exploring blues and rock. Follow me on Twitter, IG, and SoundCloud. So now I already know that there are more places to follow Elise. This is great. It looks like a lot of my friends already follow you, so that's enticing to me to be like, oh, people who I know love and support good local music, so I bet that these people are supporting Elise because they're great. So another thing I want to do is check out some of your other links. So here's your email, love that. Here's your Instagram. Let's see what I find on Instagram. So this is less desirable to view it on a desktop. Instagram is really set for phone and mobile use. But here we've got, okay, May 15th. Sai still wearing the same funky resetter as last year. So this was 8 weeks ago. So a little less frequently posted on Instagram, which I think you mentioned that you like Facebook for your followers. And did you say you had problems with Instagram?
Instagram is okay. I'm not finding exactly my target market. It's Twitter that I just don't understand at all.
Yeah, Twitter. Let's try to find you on Twitter. Okay, so I love also you've got this same logo, which is starting to like sink in that that's your image. And then Blues Women in Kansas City. I love the blues and blues rock. That's great. Oh, you already have a link tree. You already took my class. I love it. So even just scrolling through your page, it seems like you have a lot of music videos, which people who like music and follow you from your music will have a lot to find here. So let's try to find Elise's twitter.com/Elise Rocks Me. So you're using a great handle, a URL name. Elise Rocks Me is really easy to remember and find. So that's not always the case. Some people have more complicated things. So here I see playing blues in Kansas City, sleeping with my guitar. I don't see a link to any of your other pages or that link tree that you created for Instagram. You could totally post it here. Looks like you retweeted in June. You're a retweeter, which a lot of people are. I know a lot of people who are retweeting and not posting their own sort of creative content. So from that, I would say, why not post exactly what you're posting on Facebook or Instagram on Twitter? And again, I wouldn't do that like automatic share from Instagram, but you could take that video that you created and do the feature where it auto saves to your phone and just upload that to your Twitter page as well. On Twitter, I think it's a harder one to build, but hashtags also work on Twitter. And then asking your fans to retweet you. Within the music community on Twitter, you can find people within the blues rock community. Heartland Song Network will probably retweet you, and find people who are friendly, who you can kind of collaborate with on social media stuff. And I think that really helps build community. So again, I'm talking a lot about posting, but something that's also really important is when people do interact or like or say something, to interact with them back so they make sure that you heard them. And so let's see, media. Oh, you know what? It's not saying I'm signed in, which couldn't possibly be true, but I would look in your media. And yeah, this isn't worth it to do with you guys sitting there waiting. But I see here on the right hand side, there's some cool stuff. So you're doing play music on the porch day, which is awesome. This is cool. Oh, I've got 5 new songs, doing a great job promoting yourself. Yeah, so I see great jobs. I've got 5 new songs, jamming with a new drummer friend tomorrow, starting to think about how I get them recorded. I took this picture some years ago. So this is cool. You're just telling us what's going on. I was going to say, where do I get the album? But you're saying I'm just starting the process. This is cool because it's easy, but it's like, oh, cool. Elise is making new music. I can't wait to find out when it's done. And I want to make sure I'm following so that I get notifications about that. So what I get from this, like a quick summary, is that you are a blues rock woman. you live in Kansas City. Your logo is a electric guitar with like the butterfly wings. Oh, I remember your blues, etc. is one of your catchphrases. I got that from Instagram. From your Facebook cover photo. You have a you have a mailing list, which I think is really good to know. Mailing list, people talk a lot about mailing lists, and so that's good that you're linking to your mailing list on Facebook. That's a great way to get what's going on. So as far as like upcoming shows, I would say you don't have any upcoming projects, none that I know of. I didn't actually listen to any of your videos, so I might have missed some content that you put in there. But would you tell me how you feel about me going through your stuff, and did I get it right? Do you have any questions or?
Well, I guess the only thing is Twitter. That the last time I posted was like February of last year. I'm just not paying attention to it because I'm just not getting response. So I've got to find my audience there.
I feel ya. And, I would say don't waste time on these networks that aren't giving you back, but maybe you're posting a couple times on Facebook each week, and maybe you're posting once a month on Twitter. You know what I mean? You don't have to like drill it home, but it's also never going to build unless you try to build it. So, if it's frustrating you, and again, I'm the anti-social media manager, because I'm like, if you're not getting anything out of it, don't try to chip that block of ice. Like, make songs. That's what's important here. But if you want it to build, you've got to put a little effort, right? Yeah. So someone asked me any thoughts on TikTok, and I honestly personally don't use TikTok. It's been great for some singers. I know singers are doing it. Dancers, obviously, dancing grandmothers are doing really well on TikTok. And I personally don't use TikTok because it's one more thing to manage, to create content for that isn't content I'm naturally creating. And one more thing to take me away from my job, which is to be a songwriter. So I think if you're able to utilize TikTok to get something out of it as a songwriter, I think it's great. I think it's huge. And it's really the popular app right now. Right now, I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and I see a lot of people posting their TikTok videos to those networks. So if you're posting on TikTok, you can reach people on other networks. People do that all the time too. They're posting something they tweeted as an image on Instagram. So you can kind of make the rounds. I find value in unique content that is striking me differently on each network. I have friends who kind of post the same thing on each network, and I'll actually get kind of confused and frustrated and be like, hey, I thought I saw that and commented on that, but it's not showing that I liked it. And then it's because I liked it on Instagram, but not on Facebook. I don't know if you run into that too, where my people post the same thing on all the social networks, and then I get confused about what I've seen. So my goal is to post sort of original, somewhat different content so that anybody who sees it makes sure they saw what I was going to do. Diana also asked me, is this PowerPoint available? I absolutely can. I haven't sent it to Danny yet, but there's no reason I can't export it and send it over if anyone wants some more of this in-depth info. And just kind of, I'm definitely wrapping it up. We can unmute and ask questions, or I think we probably covered stuff if there is anything you guys want to ask. So I will just end with this thought. I've kind of been mentioning this throughout. Remember what your job is. A lot of my clients feel so overwhelmed with social media, and I just want to make sure that you remember you're a singer-songwriter first. Posts are important. Getting fans in seats is really important, but making sure that you feel good and healthy-minded and healthy-hearted is really important too. So if this is stressing you out, I recommend that you hire someone or ask someone for help with it. If you can't do it, or if it's making you a little mad. And then if you think you're able to handle it, and dedicate a little more time. What just remember, what parts of my job and my day can I share online to create more content without spending a lot of extra time? Set aside a little extra time for social stuff each week. Just block out some half an hour to an hour on your schedule. And then, of course, use creativity and organizations to create meaningful posts. And just double check that you included the details to make it easy for an audience member to get what they needed. And then I'll give you my little spiel. So my spiel is, I'm Danielle Ate the Sandwich. That's where you can find my music. Here are my websites and social media sites if you want to follow me. Most of them are at Danielle Ate the Sandwich. My most recent project is an EP of original songs that were featured in a documentary film about adult parents raising, grown children raising, grown children helping take care of their elderly parents. Sorry, I got caught in all my adjectives. So kids that are older now caring for their parents as they get older and start to need help from their family. It's called It's Not a Burden. It's available where you stream or download music. And then as far as Whipstar Wonder goes, I'm luckily very busy right now, and I'm not taking on any new clients, but something I love to do, if any of you are interested, are consultation phone calls or Zoom calls where we address the state of your socials. So you can talk to me specifically about your problems with Twitter. We can go in a little more depth and just try to get you tuned up and at a place where it feels like you're got a fresh start and that you're putting the best foot forward, and ways that you can organize some social content to more productively talk about what you're doing and hopefully do it in a way that keeps you sane and healthy and happy. I got a question from Danny. Can you talk about the importance of breathe days? So I call in when I am scheduling for clients, breathe days, purposeful days where we don't post anything. I think a lot of people post every day and tell you to post day. Sometimes people tell you to post multiple times a day. And I really think that sort of drowns out the sound of your voice. So I leave in specific days where we don't post anything, just to make sure that all of the posts that have been put out can be seen and get shared around. And so that we're not putting so much extra into the ether that any of our posts get lost. And I actually find that it works. If you're posting every day, I notice the number of likes and interaction going down. And if there's a day or two in between in your weekly schedule, there's a little more interaction. So that works well for the clients that I work with. Great question. Does anyone else have a question, or even something that they've done that really works and is helpful for them? I am presenting this workshop, but I also know that you guys have had experiences that maybe we all could learn from. Okay, no, you guys are all nubile and you need my help, and I'm honored to give it to you. I do think asking your fellow musicians, what has worked for you, or are you on Bandcamp? Are you using this distribution site? How do you get more followers on Twitter? Or even, would you retweet me? Sometimes I post something and I'm like, I just post something out. I text my best friend, will you like it? Just so I'm feeling like I want it to be seen. Will you like it or engage with it so that it can get a little boost? And I don't think that that's a bad thing to do. So having your friends and your kind of social media small group that you guys and ask each other for advice or help on. And of course, within Heartland Song Network, we are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and SoundCloud. And we also have a website, heartlandsongnetwork.org. I manage these sites, but it's really all the amazing artists that we work with that are based in the Heartland. We're sharing their music and we're sharing their content. We're sharing and featuring artists of the month and exciting opportunities, whether it's grants or public gigs that people can apply for. So we really want to center our socials around providing a space for music lovers and music makers to come and exchange ideas to lift each other up and to really celebrate what's going on in the Heartland music
Danielle, I've got a
community.
question.
Yeah, what you got, Danny?
Um, do you find, I mean, is there a formula for like reposting as opposed to new content? Or, if you got an event coming up, how soon you should be posting about it, that type of thing?
Yeah, great question. I kind of have a rule. I try to post no later than 2 weeks out from an event. This can be easier or harder depending on how busy you are. If, like my first live gig that I have scheduled at the moment is in September, so I have plenty of lead time to advertise that. But I also have a lot of virtual stuff going on right now. So sometimes I feel like I'm advertising three things at once. That's why I use those sort of like blurb, like here's all the different events I have coming up in the next month. So I usually say no later than 2 months. I think 1 month out is really great if you don't have other things that are kind of conflicting. And then if it's something like a music video or an EP, something that's not just an event that happens once and then is over, I would also promote it for at least 2 weeks after. And I kind of do like 3 posts to advertise before and 3 posts to advertise after, kind of like bookends. And then new content is always great, and it's always hard to come across. I think that's one of the harder things because it feels like we need to hire people or get this in order. It's a good thing, an easy thing to make excuses about. Elise had great videos, so Elise is making videos, which is awesome. Other people are posting selfies of them in the garden. I follow Alexa Dawson, and she's always posting great photos of her working off the land, which is something that is also centered in her music, which is cool. And then I post silly selfies of like me getting ready for a show or making crafts. And this is all good because it's putting an image in front of our followers so they can see that we're doing something, that we're active, that we're engaged, that we have other passions, and then maybe we're occasionally mentioning, and we have a show this weekend, or come and see us if you can. So I think old content can get old fast. If you're always linking out the same photo, or like let's say you use the same photo for all of your Facebook events, it not only gets old, but it's easy to confuse event from event. Something I try to do with my YouTube videos is always use like a different background and a different outfit so that all of my YouTube videos look different. Some people just like sit where their camera is and play all the same songs wearing the same shirt. And then I go, oh, I've already seen that video where he's sitting at his desk wearing his black t-shirt because that's what he wears every time. So I try to create stuff that looks different so nobody gets confused about whether or not they've seen it or been to that show or saw that post, etc. And that's why I think new content is important because it's just another bit of a, hey, look over here, and a way to get people's attention. Those are great questions.
Okay.
All right. I think that about wraps it up for me. I was going to aim for an hour and a half, and we're getting there. You guys brought up some great questions. Elise, thanks for letting me dig into your profile. I want to look more and watch some of those videos now that I found your page. So you guys should all follow Elise. If you want to drop your social media handles in the chat, we could all follow each other. And of course, please follow Heartland Song Network if you're not already following that organization. That's all for me. Thank you to Danny and Diana from Heartland Song Network for having me, inviting me to be a guest speaker. Anything else? Danny, you got a final word? I bet you do.
No, I just want to thank everybody for attending, and we will continue to try to bring programs like this in the future. And Danielle, you are so special to us. We just really, really appreciate you. And I hope everybody has a safe week. And like I said, like Danielle said, tune into the Heartland Song Network because we have a lot of things going on in that organization. And follow Danielle. This project she just worked on is absolutely amazing. I'm really I'm really taken back by it. It's very good.
Yes, thank you so much, Danny. I'm going to type my info in the chat.
And if anybody wants this video, this recording, put it in the chat and I'll write your name down and will email it to you so you've got it for yourself. We will have it on the Heartland Song Network website, and that's heartlandsongnetwork.org. But if you would like to have it for your own personal space now, just let me know and we will get it to you.
Sounds great. Oh, awesome. Everybody's typing their stuff. I love it.
Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you, Rich. Thanks for tuning in from the East Coast.
Oh, that was very informative. I was running into where I'm skirting both worlds. You know, I have a small business that's music related, and then also, you know, I play in a couple different bands and have a solo act. So it's, you know, and I think this type of stuff crosses into all those worlds, you know. But yeah, my biggest struggle is content, especially from
Yeah.
a business perspective.
Yeah. And what is your business, the music store?
No, I started a company called Chordlet, and so I put a link up. It's bracelets with the different beginner chords. You know, like this
Yeah. This is
ukulele,
brilliant.
you know,
I
and
showed this to my mom, who's a music teacher, your bracelets. Yeah.
and but so it was very informative, and I did take some notes and pictures, and I'm gonna.
Cool. I think some ideas for you. I'm sure I've checked out your website. It looks really good, but different artists wearing the cordlet bracelet, playing different types of instruments, you know, so like you have the guitar chords with the
Yeah,
guitar and just the arms, or if you have a featured artist, you could get their face in there too. But obviously, different instruments with the bracelet, and you know, just asking different friends and family members to try it on to get new pictures of different types of people wearing it would be very cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
that's a really good idea for a product. I love that.
Thank you. But
Yeah.
thanks everybody. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Rich.
Thank you very much.
Aloha.
Aloha. Okay, I think I'm going to leave too. Is that all right?
Yep,
Did we
we'll
get it all
sign
done?
off. And thank you again, Danielle.
Okay, thank you guys. See you soon. Send you an
Bye.
email tonight. Bye.
Bye.